Yeah, the bye week probably couldn't have come at a better time for us. Guys are really, really excited about, the young guys getting out and scrimmaging. Just like everybody in the SEC right now, you're banged up and bruised at this point of the year. That's just kind of how it goes. So this time off for our guys and trying to limit some of the banging, I think has been very, very good for us. Excited to go on the road and play, at Georgia, and learned a lot about our team from our trip to Texas A&M and going against Johnny Manziel. So, our guys are looking forward to getting back out in a competitive environment. We'll give them off on Saturday. From an academic standpoint, it's been great for us as well because it's to that point of the year, this semester, where it's getting pretty difficult academically. So extra time academically has been great for us as well.
First up, we have Chip Howard of KZNE Radio.
Morning, James.
Hey, Chip, how are you?
I'm fine. Did you see more blitzing from A&M than you had seen coming into that game?
Yeah, we did. We saw a little bit more than we had seen in the past. Thought they did a nice job with it as well. I think like a lot of teams in this league, they have a lot of talent. And I think on defense, they've been playing some younger guys, and I think you're starting to get to the point of the year where those younger guys are starting to get more comfortable and more confident.
And having seen Manziel and Evans up close, would you discuss the challenges of trying to slow them down?
Well, I think they both complement each other well because, Johnny's a concern because, you want to try to spread the field to take, the easy throws away from him, but then by doing that, you create a lot of really good running opportunities for him. I think he probably limited some of his running that he's done in the past just because, he's been banged up a little bit. So I think that was a priority for them going into the game. Let's try to limit some of the running. And Mike Evans is just, he's a matchup problem at any level, high school, college, or the NFL, because he's a 6'5" guy who can run and has got really, really good ball skills. He plays really strong. We pressed him, and, whether he uses his quickness to get off the press or whether he just comes up and is really physical with his hands and his body getting off the press, it creates some challenges. I think our kid Andre Howe's a good player, and I thought, for the most part, except for the one long one down the sideline, I thought he matched up fairly well against him.
Thank you.
Next is David Morrison, the Columbia Daily Tribune.
Hi, Coach. How are you?
Hey, David. How are you?
Good, thanks. With everything that's expected out of quarterbacks and offenses today and all the hits they take, has it become more important to have two guys game ready for each week, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's always been that way. I think it's always been that way. You see, traditionally the best programs have two guys that you feel like you can win with. I think that's I don't think that's even really recent. I think that's always been the case. Maybe the way people are running the quarterbacks a little bit more, it magnifies it even more. And I think that's probably some of the arguments that people make with the spread. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles right now. I think they're on their third quarterback. So I don't think there's any doubt. You look at South Carolina over the last couple of years; they've had two quarterbacks that have played at a pretty high level. And I think that makes it a challenge for everybody. And I think that's no different than defensive linemen or receivers. You're trying to recruit multiple guys that give you the depth and give you the opportunity to win when circumstances come up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have Danny Brewer, the Rutherford Reader.
Coach, how we doing today?
Good, Danny. How are you, buddy?
Fantastic. Just to kind of further what you just talked about, the running quarterback, that seems to be kind of the way of the SEC now where you need a dual-threat quarterback. Do you think that's true or false, or what's your thoughts?
Well, I still think there's a place for just a great quarterback, whatever that is. I think you can still see a lot of people that are having success with guys that are just great passers. You're seeing people that are having success with guys that are predominantly runners who can throw the ball, to keep you honest. And then you got the guy who's a true dual threat who does both things really well. I think the most important thing is having a guy that's a really good player, who's a great player. I don't think most people would say that the kid at Georgia is a dual threat quarterback, although we've seen him pull the ball down and run and has the ability to do that. But he's been highly effective for a long time, predominantly as a really, really accurate passer. So I think it magnifies the importance of that position that we've all known. But I think right now in the SEC is probably as good a group of quarterbacks as there's been in a very, very long time, and that's why you're seeing the offensive numbers spike.
Where do you think Robinette fits in that? I mean, as far as being dual threat, or is he just, you think, just a really good player?
I think he has the ability to keep people honest, and that's kind of what we're looking for. We want a guy that number one is a thrower, but has the ability to keep the defense honest with his legs. He can take the negative 6-yard sack and turn it into a +4 gain. If he can do more than that, then more power to him. But he's a redshirt freshman who started his first game in the SEC, and has learned, and I think is going to grow from it. I think he played well in the second half against Georgia. I think he could have played a little bit better at Texas A&M, but we'll learn from it.
Coach, appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Next we have Matthew Harris of the Abbott.
Morning, Coach. How are you?
Good, Matthew. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I was going to ask. It seems like you guys obviously you're into the month at 4-4, but the last 2 years you guys have kind of come in at that kind of position as well. You guys have closed well. Just what do you think that you guys have done around the program to sort of allow you guys to finish well or hit this closing month, in the right stride or in the right frame of mind?
Well, I think a couple things. We made a commitment the last couple of years to play guys, and I think everybody says that, but you have a hard time doing it. You want to keep your best players on the field all the time, and in the past couple of years, we've made the commitment to play a lot of guys, and I think that's helped us in the fourth quarter, and I think that's helped us late in the year. And we've also done a really good job with our strength and conditioning in the off season to make us as durable as we possibly can be. This year we probably have had a little bit more issues than in years past, but I think that commitment to playing lots of guys, keeping the starters fresh, and not only for the fourth quarter but for late in the year, I think that's probably been the biggest difference in our program the last couple of years. And speaking to guys that have been here in the past, Larry and others, our SID, as well as some of the operations guys that we've kept on, that's what they attribute it to as well.